Hi, I'm Gloria Moraga. This is the Political Woman Podcast. Please subscribe. Please follow me here on TikTok, YouTube. It's Monday, January 15th. I am Gloria Moraga. Today, the nation remembers Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free.
A civil rights leader, a man who dedicated his life to the struggle for equality in this country. And I'm not quite sure how Dr. King would feel about what's going on in America today. Today, Iowa and the Iowa Caucuses. I don't know what makes me happier. The fact that soon this day will be over, and hopefully we won't have to hear about the freaking Iowa Caucuses anymore. Oh my God. I mean, talk about the media just going off. Everybody's talking about the Iowa Caucuses. Here's some numbers for you. It starts, the event, at 7 p.m. Iowa time. It is a political party event. They all gather in a room and candidates give speeches, or if the candidates can't do it, they have someone there representing the candidate. And then they have a secret ballot, and then the results are sent to the state party, in this case the Republican Party. In Iowa, there are 1,657 precincts. Each precinct will caucus. But after all this, like blah, 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 nonstop, Iowa, and by the way, I love Iowa. I could get to that later. There are only 40 delegates representing Iowa at the Republican National Convention. So all we've been doing for the last 2 weeks and longer is talking about Iowa and these 40 freaking delegates, which aren't very many. And here's the other issue that I have. Trump's going to win. Everyone's talking. It's not even a big discussion. The big question is, who's going to be second? And right now, I don't care, because I can't stand those people. Honestly, they need to speak up. They need to have some backbone and stand up against Trump, but they don't. Okay, here's how Webster defines the caucus. Quote, a closed meeting of a group of persons belonging to the same political party or faction, usually to select candidates or decide on policy. Here's how one political journalist describes a caucus. A caucus is a neighborhood meeting. Here's how the Associated Press explains it. More than 1,600 such meetings will take place on Monday, one for every precinct in the state. Then the quote goes on, either which way, it's not a primary. The straight vote contest held by most states. The primaries are going to start in New Hampshire next week, actually next Monday. Okay, in terms of actual numbers, Iowa doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's a tiny fraction of the delegates awarded nationwide. Here's what has kind of made Iowa important. Candidates go there, and sometimes there are surprises, and sometimes other candidates all drop out, if they can't win. Like, for instance, this year's a good example. Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis got to Iowa early. Ron DeSantis had tons of money, millions and millions of dollars. He set up a system there. He had people live there so that from the campaign so that he could win Iowa. He's losing. He's losing. And he doesn't have a personality. He doesn't have a personality. He's not, I don't want to say normal person, because what's normal, but he's not good out on the campaign one-on-one. Not everybody can do it. He can't do it. He can't do it. Thing about Iowa is it's not winner take all. You can caucus in Iowa and get a couple of delegates. As I said, the issue is that it's been a make or break state for some candidates, but not all. This is right today. We're focusing only on Republicans because Joe Biden decided he didn't want to make Iowa the focus of the start of the campaign for Democrats. So Democrats will caucus, but they'll do it differently. They're going to caucus, but they're going to mail in their results, and we'll get results later on. I won't go into it, but when the time comes, I'll go into it when it happens. Democrats voting by mail, Iowa no longer first for them. Their results won't come in until March 5th. And I'm going down. I have a huge long page of notes about the caucuses, and I'll just read. This is a quote about Iowa winners. Do Iowa winners go on to be nominees or presidents? Not always. Among the Democrats, the last winner of a competitive Iowa caucus was Pete Buttigieg. But then, the little-known mayor of South Bend, Indiana, ended up endorsing President Biden, and he was rewarded with a cabinet post. Before that, in 2008, Barack Obama beat Hillary Clinton narrowly in Iowa and went on to the White House. In 2004, John Kerry beat John Edwards. Do you remember them? I remember this so well. John Kerry won the nomination but lost the general election. In 2000, Al Gore won Iowa and the nomination, but lost the White House to George W. Bush. That was a big fiasco. Of late, fewer Republicans have won Iowa and the nomination. In 2016, Cruz lost the nomination to Trump, but he won Iowa. In 2012, Rick Santorum won Iowa, but lost the nomination to Mitt Romney. In 2008, Mike Huckabee beat Romney, but John McCain, fourth in Iowa, became the nominee. In 2000, Bush, a rare candidate with appeal both to evangelicals and moderates, was a clear winner on his way to the White House. So Iowa, no matter what you're hearing on TV, is not that important. Somebody tell me why nobody says that. I don't know. Commercials, they're making money off of this? I don't know. I don't know, my friends. I just know I'm sick of it, and I'm just glad when this is going to be over. Because now we've had to hear multiple stories about the weather there. Yeah, there's global warming. These are the deniers of global warming. And here's the other issue. Tell me how the hell someone like Donald Trump has captured the evangelical vote. I guess evangelical doesn't mean what I thought it meant. These are religious, allegedly people. Allegedly religious, allegedly people. And they're voting for this racist, misogynistic criminal who's trying to destroy our country and wants to be a dictator. I don't know. I don't know how this is happening, except Martin Luther King and racism in America, and how racism is alive and well, and it looks like Donald Trump. In other news, the E. Jean Carroll trial. The E. Jean Carroll trial is tomorrow. All right, so here's the story, the short version. She won against Trump, and he went out that night or the next day after she won, and he slandered her again. And so she sued him again, and she won again. And now this trial that starts on Tuesday, January 16th, is just to decide how much money Trump is going to owe her. Now, Trump says he's going to be there. I don't know. From day to day, who knows what he's doing, but he's getting a little crazier every day and looking a little crazier every day. And that's saying a lot. On Capitol Hill, deadline for the budget agreement is January 19th, a couple of days from now. Holy macanoli. They're not anywhere close to coming to some sort of agreement. And the MAGAs, the 12 or 10 or 9 or whatever, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't know, they keep blocking everything. So today's supposed to be a holiday, but they are working up there. Some people are working to try to get this done. And I don't know. I don't have any hope. The border crisis is getting worse. I mean, how do you even say that? But it's true. A mom and her two children drowned, and nobody tried to save them. I have to just remind myself who we are and what we are. What has happened? How have we gotten to this place? War. The U.S. is asking Israel to stop the bombing in Gaza. And Netanyahu is basically responding to the United States. Go take a long walk off a short pier. Go F yourself. Yeah, Netanyahu has surrounded himself with a bunch of warmongering psychos. Meantime, children are dying in Gaza. Babies. I mean, 50% of the country to begin with was children. It's a nightmare. Meantime, Malcolm Nance, a brilliant writer, describes the current situation, the United States and the Houthis, as we're in warish mode. Yeah, that's a great, when I read that, it was like, wow, what a great description. The Houthis, it's a tribe, they're a group of people backed by Iran, continue to fire at U.S. forces. And we're now striking back. We're launching, the U.S. and allies are launching targeted strikes at the Houthi rebels at different locations to try to blow up their bombs. But the Houthis say they'll never stop. And they're backed by Iran. So it's getting worse. And I wrote this whole piece, and I was going to focus on that, and then I just thought, well, I'll just do a little bit of everything today on what's going on in the world and how none of this is coincidence, my friends. None of it is. We have an attack on Israel by Gazans who are backed by Iran. And that means Russia, and that means China. And starts that whole mess. We send support. We help Israel because they are an ally. And now the Houthis are attacking us there. And oh, what a coincidence, and there are no coincidences. it's a political election year. And of course, Russia and Iran don't want Biden to remain president. And so Biden's got all of this heaped on him. And we've got this psychopath, Trump, who works and likes dictators. And we've got members of Congress refusing to help Ukraine, which is fighting Russia. They're blocking aid. Do you think all this is a coincidence? No, it's a plot. I know I sound like a paranoid, but you know what they say. I wouldn't be paranoid if they weren't out to get me. Yeah, lot going on. I will do an update on the E. Jean Carroll trial tomorrow and on the Iowa Caucuses tomorrow. I'm Gloria Moraga, political woman. Thanks for being here. Please subscribe. I need your support. It's more important than ever now that we read, that we explore multiple sources of information so that we know what's going on. Because these are delicate times. And I care about the future and I care about our country. And it's not just that simple, okay? It's not just that simple, my friends, that you can just say, well, Joe Biden's supporting genocide because he supports Israel, and so I'm not going to vote for him. It goes deeper than that. It's more important than that. I'm Gloria Moraga, political woman. Please subscribe, and more important than ever, be safe.